In the previous episode, we added this totally ethical egg farm and shop, as well as a brand new sugarcane farm on the new suspended bridge, all in preparation for a brand new factory. But now that we have ingredients, we need to do processes. So we need to build a brand new factory in the spot behind me so we can process ingredients into blaze cakes. So as you all can see, the sugarcane farm is working. We have this contraption going back and forth the whole time, harvesting like we planned in the previous episode, but there's a mistake, or not a mistake, there's a hiccup. It's not emptying its inventory, and I've been letting this run a few times, emptying it manually, seeing if it starts to work or something, but it's not. So what I do think we need to do is we need to move the whole portable interface that's taking all of the sugarcane out of the system and maybe put it at the very end over here. So what we'll have then is we'll have the sugarcane in this area falling down straight into this area, which won't be a problem because we are going to use it in the factory down there. So let's grab a few items and see if we can fix the storage. Okay, so I've ripped out everything over there, and the next thing we need to do is place the new collection system in this area over here. So what I did is I made the gantry one shorter because this is where the actual system will stop that has the portable interface on it, and over here is where the harvesters will be. So first thing we need to do is we need to rip out this, and we're going to put down this right there, which is then our smart chute that will take out all the sugarcane. I don't know, it doesn't need to have a sugarcane filter. It's just so I can maybe lock it in case we need to. And then on top of that, not like that, but like this, we need to do a portable interface. So this will take the sugarcane from this contraption, it will take it out, put it through the chute, and this will then go down to the area underneath it where we will have our items put into a storage system in the bakery. So it's minor, it's not a big change, but this should be sufficient to allow this contraption to work properly. Now with that out of the way, we can start looking at some of the other preparation we can do before we build the new blaze cake factory. Okay, so we have a little temporary sugarcane storage set up over here, and now the next thing we need to bring into this area, well, it's lava, because we're going to need lava to finalize blaze cake production. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into one of the lava pipes downstairs, and I'm just going to bring it up and bring it out into this area. And I was thinking we could maybe just have it run up this wall, because there's no reason it can't. So let's hop on down here. There we go. And I think if we were to maybe run it up in this area, right here, going up. But before we do that, let's just check down here. There should be lava somewhere close. Yeah, see, we've got lava right over there. Is that the closest line? Yeah, that's the closest line, this one over here. So we'll tap into that, we'll bring it over into the elevator, and then from the elevator, we'll just go straight up all the way through all these floors. It's good we checked, because now this shows us that we can't do that block. So we have to do this one. And that's just going to run through, and then even before it hits this floor, it's going to go through into, well, it's actually going to just go through, yeah, pump, and it pops out there. So I might actually let it go into the wall underneath and then pop up over here. Or I'll let it go through. I'll just see. But that's quite simple. So like mentioned, we need to go down. So let's go down over here. I don't know how far. Let's just check. Yeah, that's already fine. Let's go down 2 more. 1, 2. And then let's just do this. It's pretty dark. I do apologize for the black stone. It's not the easiest block to work with in this biome. Okay, cool. And then we can tap in over here. Yeah, I think that's kind of perfect. So I'm not going to connect it for now. We're just going to do that. We're going to bring it over like this. Whoops, that's wrong. And then it needs to go up. So here's the thing. Now I need to dig up on this side, like so, and I'm just gonna do this. Oh, did I miss it? There we go. Okay, cool. So we flew all the way up, but now we can just go down and just place this going all the way up. Okay, so we have the lava pipes running all the way from the bottom to the top here, and then we have it going into the wall and then into this little tank for now. And this is not the final size of the tank, but I was thinking maybe we should connect it up to the system to first make sure we get lava in this area before we start building factories and routing items and all of those things. So I got all my gearboxes, my chain drives and everything in hand, and we can go down over here and see to adding some pumps and getting all of this working, with the first pump being right over here. So right at this intersection, we're going to tap into the lava and we're going to take some still going that way and the other amount going this way. So the first power point will be right over here. And how am I going to do that? Can we do something like this to bring it down? Yeah, I think it will be easier if we take this out and we just do a... No, it's not going to be easier. Okay, wait. Let's just move this pump on by one block. So we're going to move all of this. We're going to add those back in there. We're going to do the pump over there. We're going to do that one there. We'll split this around. We'll do that there. And then we can do the chain drives like so, I think. Let's just rip this one out real quick. That's continuing to run. This one should do that. And then we can add a gearbox on top of that. Oh, that's the wrong gearbox. A vertical. Okay, so we need a vertical gearbox. That's my bad. So we'll do vertical gearbox right over here. That should take lava, and now we can do stuff like this just to make sure every now and then we can see where the lava goes. But basically, we now need to continue taking this power and running it all the way over here and taking it all the way to the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a few more pumps. And just like that, we've got lava and we have our sugarcane, and you can see the numbers going up, which means the new system is working. And then I also just want to do, let's just get this out of the way. First of all, I did install a button. So we have the elevator, we can call it now, and we don't have a thing in the middle. But also we have these two items running up, which is this lava, and then the power source or the stress units coming up with the shaft. And I think it just adds to this whole, oh, there we go, whole look of this build with all these pipes and exposed things. So I do really like that. Now, with all of that in place, we need to start looking at getting the resources together for this build, because between episodes I did get way too busy with work, but I did spend some time in a creative world, not a creative work, and I managed to design a very simple but functioning building for this area. And it's not going to be a very big building, because the idea is that I want to do a smallish build in this area. It will be double story, but a lot smaller, and it's crammed in between the tower and another big build that will go in this area in a future episode. So with that said, I think let me quickly get a clipboard ready and see what materials we need, and then we can discuss it before we start gathering it. Okay, I placed the schematic and I got my clipboard ready, and are you ready? These are the items. So we're going to work with quite a lot of bricks. I've been wanting to bring more bricks into this area, but then again, we're just going to go for a lot of the same colored blocks that we've already been using in this layer, but also again a lot of copycat panels, a lot of grays, and a lot of andesites, and not andesites, what do you call it, granite, and then some of the sanded bricks, and then our square gray stained glass. And the reason I'm showing you guys this is because I know that there's been a request for a lighter block palette, and I want to show that we slowly start to bring in color on this level. Remember, the lower level, dark, gloomy, gray, minimal lights and stuff. On this level, a lot more color and light, but not as much as we will have on the very top level, because I want to show progress. So the very top level will be bright and lights and towers and glam and glitz, and or glitz and glam, or whichever way you want it, but there will be glam. So Yes, it's grey again, but we do have a little bit of color in the form of some more red bricks. So bear with me, it will all make sense in the long run. So a couple of minutes later, and if we open up this clipboard, you'll notice that we've gathered all the resources we're going to need for this blaze cake factory. So with that said, I want you guys to grab yourself a snack, a drink, sit back and relax as we build this little blaze cake factory. What did I say? A quick little build. And I was really not joking. This was such a tiny little build, but I think it's the perfect size for this area, because like mentioned, I want this to be kind of small, and then I want something really big in this area so we can create some nice passages or walkways and stuff like that. Over here I also have this iron mesh fence type thing, and I don't know if it's going to be work with like a 2 wide, because I know it's a even number, but then a 2 wide alley so you can always see through. Otherwise we should make it 1 wide, but I don't know, 1 wide feels a little bit clumsy or a little bit cramped. I don't know, I'm sounding like I don't want cramped, but I also do want cramped, but that's one thing. And then also we didn't do a lot of decorating on this side because we're going to have a building in this area. But then in the front we've got a lot of windows, we've got a nice opening, we've got a little bit of an awning over here. I do like that. I like that little detail running in here. The idea is that we have production on this side and production on this side, and then we also have like a little loft area that you go up here, and then we're even going to add some production floating in the air right over here. And then if you look over here, we've got a window peeking out that way and a window peeking out this way, so we can see some of those structures, and then we will also be able to see all the new buildings. And the back is also relatively plain. There's not a lot happening over there. It's kind of similar to the front, just with a whole lot less happening in this area, because again we can now go ahead and add some things onto this building. But with that said, I think this building is now ready to start adding some of the things we're going to need to turn this into a functioning bakery. So yeah, we need to grab a bunch of things out of this inventory. So the first area we're going to work on is this area over here, and that's going to be combining 3 different resources into a single blaze cake base. Is that even what you call it? Blaze. Let's quickly see this thing. Yeah, it's called the cake base, the blaze cake base, which will then be eggs, sugar, and cinder flour. So first of all, we're going to have to add the basin, and we're going to plonk the basin down right over here. The reason for it being up one in the air is because we need to be able to put items into it. And to avoid getting too technical with power and flow and stuff like that, we're going to do 2 item drains on this side, 2 item drains on this side, and then we're going to add 2 drawer control slave units on either side. We're then going to go ahead and place down 2 brass funnels. One of them we're going to put on sugar, and the other will be cinder flour. And we can make this exactly one. It doesn't really matter because it's anyway just going to compact one, but for now that is how that's going to look. And then from here we can go and place down one chute in this area. Then on top of this chute we can go ahead and place ourselves a press, and then we're going to take another chute and place that down over here. So now what we have is we have an input for cinder flour, we have an input for sugar, and then this area over here will be the input for eggs. So again, we're just going to go ahead, add ourselves a smart chute, another controller slave, give this a little filter, and then let's also make it exactly one for the time being. And that should be all the inputs, and all we need to do now is give this thing power and also connect it up to the storage system where the eggs will be stored, and also add this to an internal storage or little smaller storage that we can, well, I wanted to say run independently, but I'm thinking we should maybe just tap into it, because if I'm not mistaken, we've got frame trims right over here. So we can literally maybe run across the floor like this, all the way over, and connect those items, or those two. And in that one, we might connect via the wall. Okay, I'm quickly going to get the ones in the floor in, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so all of this has been set up and connected. We can see with this, we can see all the items in the storage system, as well as that one and this one. And because we already have eggs in the system, we've already inputted those into this little contraption. Another thing I did is I turned this little press so we can power it from the back. So we will take power out the back, and that way we justify this little alleyway, and the power will then also run all the way to the top, because at the top we need to create sugar and we need to create cinder flowers. So I was thinking that we can maybe do these little contraptions floating. So I would say we can maybe do our little slave over there and a drawer slave over there, and then we can add our crushing wheels. Will I be able to reach that? Well, not like that, but in this area with a little chute underneath, and repeat on this side. So then we have those in there, and I'm just thinking we need to connect these storage like drawer controller, this drawer slave controllers. So maybe we can run it down and all the way around to this side and up there to connect those. And then we go down maybe in the corner. Yeah, maybe in the outside corner. We can run all down there. We run on all the way to the bottom and connect it over there. Yeah, I think that is what we're going to do. So before we add any of these, let me quickly get in the rest of these drawer control, or not drawer controllers, drawer trims. So we have all of these connected up, and then we can continue building the create components. Okay, so we've got these connected. There you can see this one is connected to the main storage, as well as this one. And that means that we're kind of ready to start connecting these up to some crushing wheels, and the crushing wheels up to those little drawer controllers down there. So how are we going to do that? We're going to go down, I think, just 1, 2, 3 like this. And then we're going to have another chute over there. We're going to have the crushing wheels, and we'll have a chute over here. So can we? No, we can't from down here. Okay, let's do another 3 on this side first, and then we're going to see if we can just do a little sidewards connection. So if we jump on back up here, and if we do this and this, is that enough? And then 1 up. Yeah, that should be fine, because now we've got side, side, and then 1 up. Oh, you know what we did forget? We're gonna have to come up 1 more, and then we'll go 2 to the side, because now the crushing wheels over here, and we'll have like a what do you call the copper, the brass, a smart chute again. And the reason why this has to go up 1 more, because we need to actually, and I did bring them along, we need to do this real quick. We're going to add those 2. We're going to have sugar. We're going to have cinder flour, and then we need to grab our keys. It's the one on the keychain. We're going to quantify, and we're going to lock them. And now we can rip out this one. Yeah, let's do that real quick. And we can rip this out, and we put that there. So now this is our sugar drawer. So we will gather sugar until this reaches 2048, which is the amount for that drawer. And then on this side, we'll rip that one out, and we'll do one like this that will fill up with cinder flour until we reach 2048. Yeah, that's the two that was missing, because we're not going to have those in the main storage. We're going to have them down there. And now that we have those there and we have these here, we can go ahead and add two crushing wheels, and now we need to add smart chutes. But I think before we add smart chutes, we're going to rip out these two again, because I don't want to add smart chutes and then random items start falling out. So instead we'll have a smart chute. This one we're going to add netherrack onto it, and I think we can just leave it on standard 64. I don't think we need to put a limit on that. And this one needs to have sugarcane on it. Do we have sugarcane? We've got sugarcane on the roof. I forgot I had to move this little storage thing right over here. So we'll grab one sugarcane like so. And we can just add sugarcane to the other one, because that's literally what's going to go into this side. We're going to push sugarcane through the crushing wheels, and that will give us sugar. I just need to make sure, can we do this through the crushing wheel? We can. We'll get 2 sugarcane and 10%. 2 and okay, it's exactly the same. So yeah, crushing wheels. Plus I think they'll just look super cool. Now with that done, I think we can technically rip out all of this, because we don't need any of this anymore. I do think, however, we're going to grab ourselves some shaft, and we're just going to go across like so, and across like so maybe. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then let's quickly grab, we need to grab some girders. We're going to put down some girders. I don't think you can, oh, you can place them on. Okay, cool. Well, okay, no, see, now I'm making a big mess of things. So we need to just do a girder over there, girder over there. Why doesn't it want to place that one? There we go. Okay, rip that one out, and then we'll do, maybe we'll do girder, and then we'll rip this one out, and we'll turn these into copycat slabs. We're going to have to rip this one and this one out as well. And then we can just have like a diagonal coming down and going into a industrial iron slab floor. Yeah, I think that could work. Okay, so that's basically it. So all of these things are in the correct position, and all I need to do now is give all of this on this side power, and then we also just need to add this little area. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to connect the power on this side, and once we have the power on, we know everything's working, we can add these drawer slaves back into the mix. Just before we do the power, I would like to mention that, okay, well, I finished that, but what I really wanted to mention was we need to add these. So it's just shift click onto those to get those connected. And then also we need to add something where we actually take the item that we're creating out of the system, putting it into another drawer or something maybe that will pop out on this side and feed into this little area. We're not going to do that, however. We're first going to allow this to make ourselves one blaze cake base before we connect all of that. But yes, for now, power. Okay, so everything's turning, everything's spinning, and everything seems to be working. We do, however, still need to connect these up to the storage system. But I would just like to mention we did have one problem, and that is with the total amount of power we had left. See, we tapped into the system running along this line. We were fortunate enough it was right down there, and we tapped into it, which is the power that comes from the windmills, and we overstressed the whole contraption. So these are only turning at 32 RPM at the moment, as well as that little mechanical press, and we still need to add the spout that pumps the lava onto the blaze cake bases. So we are quite limited in regards to power, but hopefully after we set up this, we can start looking at building a new power station, which will then mean we will have a lot more power to go around. But first of all, I think I'm going to connect this side up. So if we chuck this on here, we'll give it a few seconds and we see that it works. Now the only question is, Why is it not picking up the netherrack yet? Okay, it's connected. Same on this side. Okay, it's strange that that side's not picking up now. We tested it in both earlier and they were both working. Is that a trim? That is a trim. Oh, did I maybe destroy the connection at the bottom when I did the rest of the power? It can't be. That runs there. That's frame trim, frame trim. It goes all the way up and all the way over. Oh, does it run there? I think it actually runs if we go to the outside. I think the framed trims actually run on that second layer. Bricks. Yeah, see, there's a frame trim. So we somewhere managed to break it, which I think was the center over there. So if we do this and we just rip this out quickly, frame trim, frame trim, frame trim, bricks. Yeah, the frame trim's the one right behind this because this is also frame trim. So we're going to have to rip this one out and then just do this and this, I guess. Oh, well, not like that though. So let's just do this real quick again. Yep, let's try that again. So that's a framed trim and frame trim, frame trim. And now all of that should work out perfectly. That can become a normal brick again. This can do that again. And now that should connect up. Let's quickly go check it. Yep, that should be fine. Let's just run around real quick. Let's see. Yeah, that's connected now as well as... No, still nothing happening. Okay, I'm quickly going to go check why we're not getting any nether bricks in the system. And the problem's right over here. We removed all the other drawers, so currently we do have netherrack in the system, but it's not connected to the storage drawer. So the simplest way to fix that is I'm just going to use blank trims for now. Let's see. Yep, it should work. So we're just going to use blank trims, and the reason for that is because we still need to fix up this area once we connect all the storage drawers. But if we fly up here, are we getting any blaze? Well, we see something happening, and it's going to take a while to process because we have it on 64 items at a time, and we can actually change that now to exactly 16 until we can increase the speed of these little contraptions. Oop, there we go, just fell down. But there we see we've got cinderflower in the system, so that's perfect. And now the only thing we need to do is just connect the sugarcane up, and I'm thinking we might change it so we actually have drawer trims running along the floor over here and then just connecting to this trim over there. It's been done. I moved the sugarcane to this position over here, so now we have the system running, delivering the sugarcane, storing it in this area, and we added trims running along the floor over here and connecting to this main line that connects our main storage to all the other parts of the city. So we currently have the sugarcane connected as well, so we have that processing. But not only that, we actually ran this contraption and it made a ton of blaze cake bases. You can see there's 64 in the system. We've got another chute over here. This takes out the blaze cakes, puts it into, well, the blaze cake bases, puts it into a trim that runs over here, and I've already added this part as well. So this side we just have a little pumping station pumping lava onto the blaze cake bases and then putting them into the storage system. So you can see we filled up on the bases, but we only have 6 blaze cakes. That's because I inverted the signal. It'll make sure to gather 90 and will turn on once we reach 80% again. And then what this does, it locks not only this brass funnel but also this normal andesite funnel as well. So what we can do is we can just invert this, say yes, and there you have it. We have blaze cakes coming out of the system and pouring over, going into this area. I just want to move this because it's not going to bug me. But this will now slowly start to fill up until we have a total of 2048 blaze cakes. And we will add upgrades to these drawers once we have more sugarcane going, once we have more power and everything. But for now, I do think this is a really good start towards a solution for our power problem. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, what do you think of this little blaze cake factory? Again, remember, most of my builds are not about being efficient, but about being functional and working. But with blaze cakes being processed in the background, it is time for us to check in on the population counter. You see, we currently have 10,367 citizens living in the city. That means our population increased by 17 new citizens since the last episode. If you want to become part of this population counter, then do remember to hit that subscribe button and help us count towards our next big goal. Well, with the population counter updated, the blaze cake factory built, and blaze cakes being made, it is time for us to say goodbye till the next episode. And remember, down in the comments, let me know, what do you think of this cute little build, and do you think we should tackle the power plant next, or maybe another build before we reach the power plant? But till then, remember to smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on another episode. And also, hit the like button, as it really helps out this video a ton. Till next time, bye for now.